Jeez. Oh, hey. I'm trying to fix my computer. Oh, wait, is it too loud? It's way too loud. What the hell? I can't. Ugh. Why is it doing that? Let me fix this thing. What? Damn it, it's still there. Well, at least my programs are running. Testing, testing, test. Yeah. Testing. Ugh. Why is it doing this?
To disable your Windows search service, press the keyboard combination Ctrl-Shift-Escape, or simply search for Task Manager from your Windows search. Either way, you should have your Task Manager pop up. Here, click on the Services tab, and then at the bottom of the page here, click on Open Services. You should have the Services window pop up. On this window, search for Windows Search. Right-click on it and select Properties. On the Properties dialog box where it says Startup Type, click on the drop-down and select Disabled. Then Apply and hit OK. Now restart your computer and see if the problem has been resolved. If you are still seeing the high disk usage on the Task Manager, then the second thing to check is your disk defragmentation configuration. Now, defragmentation, as you may already know, consolidates fragmented files on your hard drive and enables efficient and quicker access to storage locations on the drive. However, sometimes this process could get corrupted by some malware or applications, hence creating an undo process in the disk and causing such problem as 100% disk usage. To rectify this, you will need to stop and disable scheduled defragmentation from your task scheduler. To do that, go to your Windows search and type Task Scheduler as shown on the screen. Click on Task Scheduler from the search results. A window like this should pop up. Here, click on the arrow next to Task Scheduler Library to expand the folder. Then click to further expand the Microsoft folder, then the Windows folder. Under the Windows folder, locate the folder named Defrag and click on it. Now you will see an item in this window named Scheduled Defrag. This Windows would. Now, after running the regular updates, check your device manager to see if all important drivers are installed. Regular Windows update. To do that, go to your Windows Start and click on the gear icon to open your settings. On the settings page, click on Update and Security. Then on the window that follows, click on Check for Updates and wait for the updates to download and install. If this is your first time running an update, then it might prompt you to accept the installation of the updates after downloading. If you see that, just select Accept and Install. It might also prompt you to restart your PC to complete the process. Now, after running the regular updates, check your device manager to see if all important drivers are installed. If not, then you can try to right-click on each one of the drivers and select Update Driver from the options. Then on this window, select Search automatically for updated driver software. Of course, you will need an internet connection to complete this process. Now, if that fails, then you might need to search online for the corresponding drivers, download and install accordingly. After installing the required drivers, restart your computer and see if the problem has been resolved. If that still doesn't fix the problem, the next thing to try would be to disable Superfetch service. Superfetch is a background Windows feature that constantly monitors memory usage patterns and observes what apps you run most often. It then marks such apps as frequently used and then substantial amount on your Windows. Issue in your case, but it's worth checking to see if disabling it would resolve the problem. Now, just like the search service, by disabling Superfetch, you will still be able to launch your apps as usual. However, they may take a little more time to open up. To disable Superfetch, go to your Windows search and type CMD. Right-click on Command Prompt App from the search result and select Run as Administrator. Click Yes on the User Account Control. On the command prompt terminal, type in the command nat.exe space stop space superfetch as shown on the screen and hit enter. Now you should say superfetch service is stopping, and then superfetch service was stopped successfully. Now wait for a few minutes and check if this resolved the high disk usage issue. If it helps, then you can permanently disable superfetch until you choose to turn it back on. To do that, go to your task manager using Ctrl-Shift-Escape. Then on the task manager, click on the services tab and then click on open services at the bottom of the window. Now on the services page, search for superfetch. Right click on it and select properties. On the properties dialog box where it says startup type, click on the drop down and select disabled. Then apply and hit OK to complete the process. Now restart your PC and check and see if this problem has been resolved. If that still doesn't fix the issue, then the next thing would be to try resetting your virtual memory. Virtual memory is basically some kind of memory management technique that extends your RAM virtually into your hard disk with the goal of improving performance. However, sometimes this technique could be generating a substantial amount of read-write requests on the hard disk, hence it could lead to high disk usage. To reset your virtual memory, go to your Windows search and type Control Panel. Click on Control Panel from the search results. On the Control Panel window where it says View By, click on the drop down and select large icons. Then locate the system icon and click on it. Here click on Advanced System Settings. The Systems Properties dialog box should pop up. On the Advanced tab, click on Settings under Performance. The Performance Options dialog box should pop up. Here click on the Advanced tab once again. And then under the Virtual Memory, click on Change. Then below the virtual memory window, you will see your minimum allowed, recommended, and currently allocated virtual memory sizes. Here, as you can see, my currently allocated memory is much larger than the recommended size, which should not necessarily be a problem. But in the case of high disk usage, then you might want to set this back to the recommended size. To do that, first uncheck this automatically manage paging file size for all drivers. Then select custom size. On the initial size field, put in the recommended size. Then on the maximum size field, put in 1.5 times the size of your physical RAM in MB. Here mine is 8 GB. So for a 4 GB RAM, it will be 4 times 10. Then select custom size, virtual memory sizes. Here, as you can see, my currently allocated memory is much larger than the recommended size, which should not necessarily be a problem. But in the case of high disk usage, then you might want to set this back to the recommended size. To do that, first uncheck this automatically manage paging file size for all drivers. Then select custom size. On the initial size field, put in the recommended size. Then on the maximum size field, put in 1.5 times the size of your physical RAM in MB. Here mine is 8 GB. So for a 4 GB RAM, it will be 4 times 1024. 1024 is the number of MB in 1 GB. Then times 1.5, which would give you 6144 MB. For 8 GB RAM, in the same vein, it will be 12288 MB. So here I will type in 12288. Now you need to type in what corresponds to your RAM size. Then click on the set button to the right and hit OK. It then informs me that I have to restart before this change will take effect. Here hit OK. Then apply. OK and OK again. Now ensure you've saved your work and then hit restart now to complete the process. Now if the problem persists after restarting, the next suggestion would be to check the configuration of your AHCI PCIe, especially if you are using an SSD. The AHCI is short for Advanced Host Controller Interface. It's a technical standard that defines the operation of your SATA host controller. This host controller .sys, that's the list. Then you are running the inbox driver. Now close this and go back to the controller properties window. Here click on details. Then under properties, use the drop down to select device instance path. Then you should have a value like this. Here you should take note of this value. You can
Okay, I gotta come back
I will just use my snipping tool to